Hello, I'm Lloyd Bonson, and you join me today as the Scottish Fiesta Championship makes its annual pilgrimage south of the border to Oulton Park. Peter CRUICKSHANK, third place in the championship, takes pole position. I hand you over to Richard John Neal to take you through the rest of the grid.
Thanks, Lloyd. Peter CRUICKSHANK will start on pole position with Wayne MacCAULAY alongside, then Stephen Ward and Barry Farquharson, Gordon Haston, XR2 poleman Christian Leith, Nick Forsyth and Rob Kerr, followed by Graham Cuthbert, the championship leader for the XR2s. Two grids, we've got the local boys in the XR Challenge up front. They get away. Mark Robinson on pole for them, with Lord Danny Buxton alongside. Good start by Greg Spate in the black and orange number 5. We're going to focus, rightly so, on the Scottish Championship, though, as we do on this programme. Peter CRUICKSHANK in orange takes pole position. His first pole of the year. And away we go. Wayne MacCAULAY to his outside. Peter CRUICKSHANK, by my reckoning, a 14th career pole. And we've got waved yellows. I'm assuming one of the XR Challenge boys has gone off. Indeed, it's Matthew Eldridge who gets going again and rejoins. So who's going to lead the Scottish runners through? It is Peter CRUICKSHANK from Wayne MacCAULAY. Then in third place, Barry Farquharson. Stephen Ward back with us in the black and green 55. I haven't seen Stephen since taking 4th place at round 2 on the 9th of April. But it's Peter CRUICKSHANK who's looking very good on away form here, and an issue for Gordon Haston in the 198. Great to see Gordon out in the STs. And he gets going. Here are two of our runners in the XR2, the Scottish XR2s, headed at the moment by Rob Kerr from Graham Cuthbert. Rob third in the championship for the XR2s. Duncan Fox second. Duncan not racing with us this weekend. I think Rob Kerr, should he finish this one, should take second position in the XR2 championship. But it's Peter CRUICKSHANK out front. Now, as I said, it's a mixed grid. We've got the XR Challenge boys who are local here, and you can see some of those already being passed. And to put in perspective the qualifying times, Peter CRUICKSHANK, out of the 23 cars that are in total on grid, Peter CRUICKSHANK was second quickest. Only Mark Robinson was quicker than him. So we are going to expect the Scottish runners, particularly the STs, to work their way through the XR Challenge runners. So it's by no means going to be easy lights out to flag for Peter CRUICKSHANK, and it's not easy either for Wayne MacCAULAY in car number 2, the grey and blue machine, coming under pressure from his arch rival so far this year, Barry Farquharson, who's taken 6 second positions. Wayne MacCAULAY thus far unbeaten, so a little bit of a wake-up call here for Wayne, with Peter CRUICKSHANK showing some very good away form this weekend. The international circuit being used here at Oulton Park, 2.6 miles, and the task in hand for the Scottish runners is to pass some of the XR Challenge boys and try and race for positions themselves. You can see the 55 car of Stephen Ward trying to get closer at the moment to Barry Farquharson. They'll come down in towards Britain's, the chicane, then they'll go up the hill, over hilltop and down into Hislop's, already getting up amongst some of the XR Challenge traffic, which I've got to say, exemplary racing from the XRs. I think that was Richard Tate that they've just cleared in the 98 car. So Peter CRUICKSHANK out front. Peter looking for his first win of the season so far, third in the championship. He's on 80 points. Wayne MacCAULAY already on 150 from the 6 races. So Wayne here won't be dropping too many points. That's Peter Lancaster in the red XR2 that the race leader for the Scottish class has just cleared. And Peter again keeping a wide line here. Wayne MacCAULAY has a look at the inside, hasn't perhaps got the speed there going through Lodge Corner down into Deer Leap, and they'll tick off another lap. Now leading the XR2s at the moment is Christian Leith. We saw Christian in our last programme racing in the STs, and he's running in the XR2s here. He was an XR2 runner a little while ago, Christian Leith. I think it was 2013 if memory serves correctly, where he did 15 of the 17 races that we had in that season. But leading the class at the moment is the 44. So Robert Kerr, third in the championship, but he's going to get himself closer here to the championship leader, Graham Cuthbert, who's right behind him, assuming that it stays this way. So going through the Shell Oils hairpin, I tend to say it every time I commentate, if you ever get the chance to walk this circuit, then it's a real must-do thing, particularly when you go through that hairpin, because the bank here is actually banked, and from top to bottom you can stand on the bottom of the banking, and it's a good 6-foot banking. Here's Gordon Haston, who is still going, which is good. Gordon running in 5th position in the STs at the moment, so he's going to pick up a few points here on his seasonal debut. Race leader still getting stuck into the traffic. Danny Lee in yellow, the next target for Peter Cruikshank. Danny leading Class B in the XR Challenge. Wide moment there for Barry Farquharson, who collects it all up, and on the inside line goes Wayne MacCAULAY. So still Cruikshank from MacCAULAY and Farquharson. I'm wondering how far up the order, Peter Cruikshank, the overall order, Peter Cruikshank is going to get. Peter now closing down on Lee Shropshire, running 6th position in Class A. Well, Peter dealing with the traffic very well here. The traffic behaving itself in exemplary fashion as well. And this is good driving from Lee Shropshire. Leaves the door open on the inside line. Peter Cruikshank goes through. Wayne MacCAULAY still with Barry Farquharson in close proximity, completing the 1-2-3 at the moment for the Scottish ST runners, but it's the veteran of the championship, Peter Cruikshank, vastly the most experienced driver, with over 230 race starts to his name over the years, and Peter Cruikshank's going to be absolutely delighted if he can take a win here. Fastest lap at the moment though on lap 3 is with Wayne MacCAULAY, so Wayne very clearly getting to grips with this configuration at Oulton Park. So Cruikshank from MacCAULAY, a little bit of a gap back now to Barry Farquharson running in the blue machine in 3rd place, but Peter Cruikshank has really driven well here. Made a good start, had clear track at the start, sensible piece of organising from the BRSCC, who've organised the race day today, the British Racing and Sports Car Club, putting the drivers in separate grids. It does save some of these faster STs getting stuck into traffic too early on, so 2 separate starts, a good call, and then when everything's a little bit more spaced out, a little bit more relaxed, these guys get the chance to get stuck into the passing of the other cars. So we look back and we saw Justin Roberts going through shot. He's running 2nd overall at the moment. So as you can see going on to the last lap, Peter Cruikshank not that far away from the lead group. And this, bearing in mind, was from the pretty much the back of the grid, and another 10 seconds on the main grid. So they've made great progress, and Peter well inside the top 10 overall and winning the Scottish class. Wayne MacCAULAY the fastest lap outright of everybody, and we've got multi-classes racing here. And Wayne on his way to 2nd position. It's going to be his first few points dropped in this year's championship as we look at them going into the Shell Oils hairpin for the last time. Peter Cruikshank still with some work to do, and it's going to be Alistair May in the red 52 car that he needs to try and pass before the end of the lap. And there's no sitting back, you've actually got to get stuck in and get past those cars. Barry Farquharson still running in 3rd. I can tell you the XR2s at the moment still led by Christian Leith, with Rob Kerr in 2nd. Graham Cuthbert sadly has non-finished this one, so Graham Cuthbert, having made a long journey, non-finish for him in this one, but will hopefully be able to get fixed for race 2. Meanwhile, still with Peter Cruikshank, he exits Knickerbrook on the last lap. They're still clearing the traffic here, and in fact Cruikshank with a little bit of breathing space at the moment ahead of Wayne MacCAULAY. Danny Buxton is next ahead. Good to see Danny racing, and Peter Cruikshank pops through on the inside line. Watch for Cruikshank and the checkered flag. They're coming up to the line. Peter Cruikshank will win. There is the checker. Peter Cruikshank wins round 7 of the Scottish Fiesta Championship, his first win of the year, albeit a class win. 4th overall though, so a pretty good performance from Peter, clearing a lot of the XR Challenge people. And the win in the XR2s goes to Christian Leith from Rob Kerr. Here's the result: CRUICKSHANK, MacCAULAY and Farquharson, followed by Stephen Ward and Gordon Haston. Nicholas Forsyth next from Christian Leith, and Rob Kerr, Graham Cuthbert non-finisher.
Peter, lights the flag, but it's certainly very hot out there today.
It's incredibly hot, and not just the weather, the driving was pretty hard as well. I mean, I know I was lights to flag, but Wayne was never, I could never take him for granted. I knew he was there all the time. He very nearly got me off the start, and if he had done, who knows what the end result would have been.
But yeah, you had a great line going into the first corner, and certainly the win helps you out in the championship as well.
Very much so. I was just reflecting after I'd won this race that this is the first time I've won an SD race since I was here 3 years ago, and Wayne came second that time too. So
obviously a circuit that's got good omens for you.
Indeed, I hope so. I'm looking forward to the second race.
So are we. Thank you very much for your time and congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed for yours.
Wayne, tough race out there, second place but fastest lap. Is that some consolation for you?
Yeah, that's a bit of a consolation, because I thought Barry behind me would have had the fastest lap, because he kept dropping off and catching back up was, but I mean, that was a really hard race there to even just stay with Peter, so we'll have to make some changes hopefully to beat him in the second race.
So you join us as the cars get ready to go out for race 2 here at Oulton Park in the Scottish Fiesta Championship. Peter, one important question before you go out there. Lights the flag in the first race, can you do it the second time round?
I'd like to think so. I'm going to give it a damn good try anyway.
It's a bit hot to do it though, don't you think?
Yeah, but it's no hotter than it was in the last race, so I think we're okay.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Richard, over to you for the grid.
Thanks, Lloyd. I think you've probably got the gist of it now that we've got the XR Challenge boys at the front. But here's the Scottish grid: Peter CRUICKSHANK and Wayne MacCAULAY on the front row, from Barry Farquharson and Stephen Ward, Gordon Haston and Nicholas Forsyth. Christian Leith heads the XR2s ahead of Rob Kerr and Graham Cuthbert. Good to see Graham on the grid, so let's see what he can do to try and get the championship lead back in some sort of order from his point of view. Greg Spate and Justin Roberts at the head of the XR Challenge field, but we wait for our Scottish runners to get underway. Watch for the flag about to be dropped. It is dropped and away we go. Good start from Wayne MacCAULAY. Wayne MacCAULAY in grey, Peter CRUICKSHANK in orange. If you've just joined us, Peter CRUICKSHANK in orange won the first race here. And it's MacCAULAY, very, very determined indeed, going down into Old Hall for the first time. Stephen Ward on the outside line, but it's Peter CRUICKSHANK who leads. It'll be great to see Peter get a double. And this is really going to send a message to Wayne MacCAULAY. Clearly very happy here at Oulton Park. Hadn't realised that Peter's last win was here at Oulton. And it's Barry Farquharson in third. They really all pick up as they go through Lakeside. They all pick up where they left off in race number 1. And that's really the beauty of this sort of racing, is that where you finish is where you start in race 2. Where you finish in race 1 is where you start in race number 2. So battle can carry on. And it's Peter CRUICKSHANK who again has got the job of having Wayne MacCAULAY in his mirrors, and also closing in on the local XR Challenge runners. I know the locals are going to relish having the extra competition on the grid as well. Through Britons for the first time, not a lot to choose from the top 4, and Stephen Ward looking a little bit sharper here off the start of race number 2. He is in black and green at the back, coming down from Hilltop in towards Hislops. So it's Peter CRUICKSHANK still out front. There is Barry Farquharson, maintained second in the champ. Peter CRUICKSHANK's off! The race leader! It's not going to be a double for Peter. It's going to be a miracle if he can pull it back from there. But Peter has got the car back on circuit. We saw, I think, Christian Leith going through in his XR2. And Peter CRUICKSHANK, it's therefore, as we were at Knock Hill, it is now Wayne MacCAULAY who is the race leader from Barry Farquharson. So MacCAULAY with I was looking at statistics between race 1 and this one, and I reckon I was thinking actually before the meeting started, Wayne MacCAULAY could possibly notch up a 50th Fiesta win this weekend, but he's not going to be able to do that because of Peter Cruickshank's win, which I reckon was a 24th or 25th career win. But MacCAULAY heading for the milestone of 50 wins. He's been on the podium 67 times, had 14 poles. Now remember, that probably sounds less than the number of race wins he's had, but you only get pole for one race out of the two each weekend. This is the view of the leaders with the task in hand to deal with some of the traffic from the XR Challenge. We look back, we've got Peter Cruickshank making progress and has already passed the 54 car of Nick Forsyth. Nick, as you can see from the cross on the back of the car, a newcomer, retired from round 5 in our last programme in June, didn't come out for race 6. Good to see the Edinburgh driver back out, but he's been notching up some decent finishes, the Edinburgh based man, and he's going to be picking up some points here momentarily, of course, able to follow Peter Cruickshank and get an idea on learning lines from Peter. Scrap on for third place now second place I should say, between Barry Farquharson and Stephen Ward. Barry in blue, Stephen in green and black, keeping him very honest at the moment. Wayne MacCAULAY setting the pace again. He did get fastest lap in race 1, and unsurprisingly has got fastest lap in this one as well. I'm wondering whether we might see a little bit of, I wouldn't say red mist from Peter Cruickshank, but sometimes when you have a spin or something happens like that, it can fire you up and put you into full race mode, and maybe we'll see a fastest lap from Peter Cruickshank as well. That remains to be seen. We do, though, have perfect conditions for racing here. It's been absolutely ideal. One of the hottest days we've had of the year. MacCAULAY back out front. I think he's going to be a little bit miffed about Peter Cruickshank's win, because he would have been perfectly happy to go through the whole year, Wayne MacCAULAY. 16 rounds in total, having taken 16 wins. But that is not to be. We don't have drop scores in this championship. Stephen Ward goes down the inside line. Peter Cruickshank hasn't lost that much ground, as you can see, but has now cleared Gordon Haston in the red ST. So Peter Cruickshank, good recovery. His target now, I would think, is going to be a podium. Whether he's going to do that or not remains to be seen, but he's got an awful lot of ground to make up. Remember, these cars are very, very evenly matched indeed. Peter Cruickshank through Cascades and along Lakeside, using the full international circuit, goes past Island Bend, past the Shell Oil's hairpin, and then up to the hairpin which is further on here, and comes out of that safely, still in 4th position in class. Gordon Haston in 5th. 6th in class at the moment is still Nick Forsyth. Down the hill goes the number 20 car, Matthew Eldridge, who we saw at the tail end of the field at the first lap of race number 1. So Matthew running well. Here is Peter Cruickshank again, down from Hilltop into Hislops, approaching the part of the circuit where he had his moment earlier on. So once bitten, twice shy. I don't think we're likely to see a repeat of that from Peter, and he makes a good clean line of it, heads up Clay Hill in towards the double apex right-hander at Druids. There is Clay Hill under the bridge and into the shade, so a little bit of respite from the bright sunshine that we have here in Cheshire today. Peter Cruickshank clears Druids, heads up towards Lodge Corner once again. So we wait for the runners to come back towards us, and as you can see, Wayne MacCAULAY working his way through the field. He's past Matthew Eldridge, who's now got Eldridge between himself and Barry Farquharson in 2nd. Wayne's best lap was still on lap 3, 206.147, shade under 80 miles an hour here. So good speeds, and indicative of the fact that if you want to come racing the Scottish Fiesta Championship, an ideal starter formula. It's an ideal formula for established racers like Wayne MacCAULAY. Remember, we're watching a triple champion here in Wayne MacCAULAY, but it is a formula that welcomes new drivers and can nurture new talent as well. Most of the racing based at Knockhill Circuit, which I know several English drivers have used as a base for many years, and you can very often go out and race at Knockhill and get back home via plane. If you leave your car based up with a team in Scotland, you can get home earlier than you would from most English race meetings. But the key thing about the championship, of course, is because the racing is based on one circuit. It means that you've got the familiarity with that tarmac as a new driver to learn the track, and then you can spend the time getting used to the car. Wayne MacCAULAY, though, is the sort of driver that you come up against in competition. 3-time champion, he's won in XR2s, he's won in STs as well, and it looks like he's very much on his way to a first race win of the weekend. But also, you have to say, maybe the 2017 title as well. Wayne MacCAULAY denied the championship last year by Kevin White. Shame not to see Jim Deans moving up from the XR2 title. The newcomers champion for XR2s, Barry Farquharson, did move up, and he's the guy taking the battle to Wayne MacCAULAY. But Wayne through the hairpin for the last time. They'll head down towards Britain's. You can see Barry Farquharson, his wingman, really, as he has been all season. I say all season so far. This is round 8. Incredibly, this race will mark, the completion of this race will mark the halfway point of the season. We're back at Knockhill on the 2nd of July, and then 20th of August, 10th of September, and the finale on the 8th of October. Are we going to see the dominance of Wayne MacCAULAY that we've seen in the early part of the season? Here he is then, the triple champion, XR2 champion in 2013 when George Orr won the ST Championship. Wayne then won it for 2 years, was runner-up last year, as we said to Kevin White. Looks like he is going to regain the title this year, the way he's going at the moment. It is, though, still only halfway through the year, and I think looking to be the first driver to regain rather than retain the title, if you follow my drift. Coming out of Druids go the chasers up towards Lodge Corner. The checkered flag, though, is being readied for Wayne MacCAULAY, who chases Steve Poole down. Wayne MacCAULAY takes the win in round 8 of the championship. Barry Farquharson second from Stephen Ward. It was very close for second. Wardy puts the move down on the inside line after the flag. So here's the result. Wayne MacCAULAY from Barry Farquharson, Stephen Ward next. Peter Cruickshank recovers for 4th ahead of Gordon Haston. Christian Leith, the top XR2, ahead of Graham Cuthbert and Robert Kerr.
Well, Wayne, that was a tough race, but you were able to capitalise on the mistake there on the first lap.
Yeah, I was quite surprised when Peter actually lost it coming out in the second chicane, and after that we just kept the head down and kept picking off our way off through the slower back XR challenge cars, and managed to keep Barry at bay as well, which was good, so it's looking good.
Barry, that was a tough race. Congratulations on your second place, but it's certainly hot out there.
Yeah, it really is hot in here, especially when you're sitting waiting there for ages to get out. Yeah, it's really hot, but yeah, happy with the second.
And that's putting you in a good position in the championship going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sitting second in the championship as it is, so I was okay to get a third, but I was really wanting a wee bit more than that, so good that it's turned out into a second in this race.
Congratulations.
Thank you.